Hello everyone! I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to some more GregTech New Horizons. Today I want to carry on from where we were last time by working further on the food project that we've been doing so that we can try and get some more hearts. So last time we made the multi-block kitchen, which is going to help us in making more foods and being able to really differentiate what kind of foods we still need to make that can still add to our heart total. And I also showed off a project I've been working on to gather all the different types of foods from Pam's Harvest Craft, and I have continued working on that since then, and I want to show you what I've done so far. So let's take a look. So if we come over here to our crop area, you can see things look much different, and that is because I have now installed 4 crop seeds of every single crop from Pam's Harvest Craft, or at least the ones that I could plant. There were a couple of exceptions, which I'll go over, but we've got every single one here. So I basically did it by garden. We've got the berries here from the berry garden. This is the cactus fruit, which was the desert. We've got these here. I'm not sure which one these are from at that point, but the point is, though, we've got everything here. We've got 4 of each of these. And they basically just grow and we can start harvesting them whenever. Now, they're not all fully grown yet, so I probably won't harvest them until they're all fully grown, which will probably take a couple hours probably. I'm not sure, honestly. Now, I could have upgraded, well, I could upgrade this later to a more advanced soil, which would be a little bit faster, I think. But for now, it's okay. We don't need too many of these. And that's why we have only 4 of these, because, we're not going to need, I don't think, hundreds and hundreds of some of these things. Maybe a few we need a lot more, but, we got 4 of each. I think that's enough because I just don't want to have too much of this space taken up by all of this. Now, on the end over here, I put in a couple of the vanilla crops. So we've got the carrots, the potatoes, the wheat, and then I put the pumpkins and melons. I put these on crop sticks since they're just easier, because otherwise, if you grow normally, they have to extend out to another block, and this is just a little bit more simpler to do it this way. So that's what I've been working on over here. And we do have a couple of extra slots here for other seeds if we need it. So if there's anything else you think I should be growing, do let me know about that. And, I'll try and add it over here. So we've got some space for that. So yeah, that's what I've been working on there. And yeah, we've got a decent number of food stuff already. And yeah, we're getting somewhere with that. I've also recently returned over to our crop breeding area, and this is an area that I have actually kind of neglected for a while. We haven't actually done much in here. We got all that stickweed, and we hadn't actually done anything with it yet. So the plan is I've come back over here, and we do need to actually keep an eye on any weeds, so let's get some of this. And speaking of weeds, actually, I wanted to do a couple of quests as well today. So one of the quests I've actually bookmarked for today is to make the weeding trowel, and that's because we actually have the rubber sheets. We can actually make this finally, and this is going to help us in our little crop breeding exercises that we do. So that's going to be something quite good. There's no other weeds over here. Let's just make sure that I probably need to start tearing these down. Well, most of these actually are stuff. We've got a lot of stickweed in here, in fact. A couple of other things as well here. Grape. What's this one here? We got some tomato there. This is lemon. That one is a bonsai. You are a weed. I'm just going to break you and not replant it. Let's see. Anything else? Doesn't look like it. Most of these here are stickweed. I can tell. That one's a stickweed. It doesn't say it, but it's a stickweed. And what else do we have? We had a couple over here I think we were growing as well. Oh, Argentia. Yes, we've got some Argentia here. I don't think we've actually got one of those. That's a tier 7. Let me take a look at what that one is. I think it's one of the ore ones. Requires... oh, block of silver. Okay, so this is a silver one. In fact, we could probably go ahead and do that. So, let's go quickly head back into the base. I want to make that weeding trowel. And let's get that block of silver as well for this area as well, and then I'll show you what else I've been working on, because that's not the only thing we've been working on for since the last episode, pretty much. So, let's go back in here. The weeding trowel is not really that difficult to make, and I think my silver's back here as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and throw that into the compressor. There we go. While that's being made, let's go make the weeding trowel, which shouldn't be too much. We're missing some steel rods. I've got a lot of steel, by the way. It's actually so much that this drawer got filled up, so I had to apply an upgrade. So we've got an upgrade right here, which has increased its capacity now to 32 stacks. It does actually change the kind of trim of it, so I don't know if I should actually upgrade all of them at this point, just so they all match or not, but for now it's only this one. Let's make a couple of rods. 16 will do. But yeah, we're doing really, really well on steel, and those blast furnaces are continuing to run at this point. And I've also wanted to point out as well that I've transitioned now. I'm starting to transition now to making the steel tools instead of the iron ones, just because of how well we're doing on steel. Now, I know we're going to be using a lot more steel in the future, but, you know, we've got over 1,000 right now. And those things are constantly running. We get 40 steel per hour, so it's quite good for now. So, we got that made, and let's go ahead and make that weeding trowel. Perfect. I think that is also going to be a quest, I think. Maybe not. Let's take a look. Fishing, farming, cooking. Ah, we actually have to get 16 weeds. Okay, well, that's something I can do later on. But we did get the weeding trowel, so that's going to help us a bit. And I can probably just go ahead and leave that in the crop weeding area. But I think what that will do, I don't actually think we have any weeds out there right now to test this on. Now, all of these are grown. Let's do this. What are you? Grape tier 3 or 4? Oh, I didn't grab that silver block either, did I? Forgot about that. Let's go quickly grab that. And I'll also show you as well, I've got a kitchen over there. We've actually been working on that last time we did that. But I have done a few upgrades over there, and I want to show you that in a bit. Let's quickly grab the silver block. Here's the block of silver. And let's go run all the way back over here. I've also been adding a little bit of some carpet here to the front side. A couple of things I'll do in there. But let's go put the silver in underneath that Argentia so that can get to maximum size when it reaches that. The nice thing about these piston boots, by the way, is I can just jump over this fence now. I don't have to actually go through the normal way. But we can do it that way. And we need to put this under you. Alright, let's do... That's fine, I guess. And we'll put a block of silver. And we'll just cover this up. There we go. Alright, so most of these are full. At this point, I won't worry about the weeding trowel. Let's just break this. Make sure everything here is full up. I don't want to leave any unattended, or else we'll lose some stuff. It looks like everything's okay. Just check over here as well. Yeah, looks fine to me. So let's go ahead and put all these away, and put you on top of there, and now we can put the weeding trowel in here for now, I guess. And we'll put the crop sticks in there. Perfect. Alright, let's go to sleep as well, and then I'll show you some of the other things I wanted to show you about these crops over here, because there was a couple of things that I wanted to mention as well. So, I put in most of the crops over here, but there were a couple exceptions, and in fact, let's actually go into the kitchen area itself to make it look a little bit easier. You're also going to notice I've moved the water tank over to this side, and there's a good reason for that. So, let's head on in here, and I'll show you what I've been working on over here. So, here is our new and improved kitchen. So, what I've done is I've kind of bricked up this section now. I just didn't like the way it was kind of just, you know, you had the kitchen here. I don't like the way that looked. This looks much better, and I could put cabinets along the top side of this. So this is all fully stocked at this point. So all the food we had in these chests here are now gone. They don't exist there anymore. Most of the stuff in here is now gone. I've taken about a stack of everything from the drawers in here and put it in there. So this thing is fully stocked at this point and ready to go with most of the food that we have. So we're ready to get going on that now soon. But I've also got these chests still over here. Now, I haven't dealt with the trees from Pam's Harvest Craft yet. The seeds were my first priority. The trees are coming at a later time. We'll get to that. I still have a couple more of these to go. I did, I think, get a peach. I was missing one earlier. Funny story, actually. I found a peach. Where I found it was literally right behind the base. So, I don't know how I never saw that before. But, yeah, we did get a peach, which was one we were missing previously. We're only missing 4 of them at this point. So, I wanted to mention something about some of the ones that were a little bit weird. So, one of them I actually have on me here. This is an edible root, which we get, I believe, from the herb garden. So, when I tried to make a seed, so most of the food from Pam's Harvest Craft, you make the seed, you just put in the crafting table, or crafting area, and you get a seed. Edible root doesn't give you that, and apparently you can't grow this, which I guess makes sense because it's a root, so, you know, you can't really grow a root, I suppose, from a seed. So we have some edible root here, but we can't really grow any of this. However, if we look at the uses for it, there's only really one main use, which is to make root beer, and that doesn't even have any other uses, so we don't really need many of these, so we're not going to grow them. You know, it could make plant balls, but everything makes plant balls in a compressor. Village trade, we don't care about. We don't care about that. So yeah, edible root, you can't actually plant that one. The other ones that I wanted to mention were these ones from the Nether Garden. So you don't actually plant these at all on the actual, you know, farmland area. These have to be, I believe, planted. It was on soul sand. I tested it on soul sand, and they don't actually need water either. So let's actually just take a quick peek at that. Well, in fact, maybe not actually, because I don't want to lose those, because I do have a couple of them. But we have 4 of each of these right here, and I was going to plant them on the farmland, but again, they don't plant there. And they actually only plant on soul sand. But I also looked at the uses for these, and I don't really think there's much use for these. So marrowberry has some recipes, but all of these recipes here, you can just use any fruit you want. It doesn't have to be a marrowberry. So that one we don't care about. Now, the flesh fruit could be useful because apparently you can use the flesh fruit, I believe, to get some mincemeat if you do 9. However, we can get, you know, flesh from the nether, so that's not really needed either. And we also have a ton of it as well. We'll look in the fridge. Yeah, I've got almost 5 stacks, so we're doing quite well on mincemeat. So I'm not too worried about the flesh fruits. The blood leaves, I've also looked at the recipe for that, and that's not very interesting. I didn't see much here. It's basically like it was the marrowberry, although, what was that? A nether bed. Pam's Harvest the Nether. That's an interesting one. Quartz ingot. Quartz slab and a cutting machine. That's interesting. I wonder what a nether bed is. Sounds very interesting. Is that like something you can sleep in the nether with, I guess? That's what I would assume. But, that's an interesting one right there. But anyways, though, the point is, yeah, I've just decided I'm not going to grow these. They don't really have any specific uses. So, I'm not going to grow these. I'm not going to grow these, although I will put the edible roots in the one of these. Let's see which one has an opening. Looks like you're the next available one. So, yeah, that's how we're looking around here. And, in fact, we can throw these in there as well. You know, just to have them around. But we don't really care too much about them. Although I haven't eaten the flesh, although I have a chest for that stuff. I think we do somewhere. And we can put the nether garden in here. So, let me make sure I've actually got those in here. This is my not yet eaten chest. So, we do need to empty this out, in fact. Let's eat a couple of foods. Are we hungry yet? No, we're not, but I can easily become hungry. So I do have some foods in here I still need to eat a couple of, because what I want to do today is, we're going to do a few quests here. We've made the weeding trail, that's done, and a couple of other things I want to get made up. One of them is actually the toaster, which is going to complete our kitchen. So this is another item from the Cooking for Blockheads mod. It wasn't actually mentioned to be made for the quest, but it is mentioned in the text of the quest that you can make this toaster, which apparently toasts bread, so I figured, we might as well make that. It's not too hard to make. And, yeah, that's something else I want to make for the kitchen to complete it. And then we're going to basically do a little bit of some cooking in here because we've got a ton of stuff ready to go. But before we do that, let's try and empty out this chest here so we can have some of this holy water. Wonder how you make this. I think I got this in a chest a while back. Make the holy water liquid, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't think you can make this. Doesn't seem like it. Recipes, maybe? No, I don't know. Doesn't seem to be a recipe for it. Anyways, let's drink it. Ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, that gave me poison too. Alright, that's alright. Put the bottle in here, I guess, for now. We might have some recipes that need a bottle. Alright, we also have the flesh fruit. We have this. We have raw scallop around. And there's the raw scallop. And again, all of these are contributing to more hearts. We've also got the baguette, pufferfish, and golden apple. That gives you a lot, doesn't it? Oh, there's a new heart right there. So we just got a new heart. The pufferfish, actually, I think that gives you some nasty effects, doesn't it? If I'm remembering correctly, I think that gives you, like, poison and stuff for, like, a minute, actually. Let's go to the cows before we eat that. That way I can pick up a quick bucket of milk, I think, to get rid of those bad effects. I think that's what that one's gonna do. And we'll go ahead and hit you so we can get that. Oh, we don't want to refill it. Take a quick bucket of milk, because I think this will give us some nasty effects. Yep, you get poison 4 minute. Yeah, a whole bunch of nasty stuff. But that will fix it. Good job. Alright. So, we fixed that problem there, and we're hungry again, although I don't actually care about refilling it since we're about to make a whole bunch of food. Before we do that, let's go ahead then and make that toaster, and let's get this other one I want to make done as well, because I wanted to get this, what is it here, simple Stirling water pump made. There's actually 2 reasons for it. One is the quest, but another one is I want to see if it's actually something we might want to use for something. So, let's go ahead and make the toaster first, which should be somewhat easy. We do need the iron spring, which is the long iron rod, which is, I believe we can make these in a forge hammer. There we go. You can go ahead and do that. There we go. 2 long iron rods. And that should be enough to make the iron spring. We'll put all of you away there, and that should be enough to make our toaster. Alright, perfect. So that's off the list, and then we can make the simple Stirling water pump. So this is a quest, I believe. This one's going to be a quest in the Steam Age. So this is one we've actually had for a little bit. I haven't done it yet. Reason was it was a little bit complicated because you need the simple Stirling motor, and this is kind of a pain. You need this, yeah, a couple of things we need to make here. So first we need the simple Stirling motor, which does need an elongated glass tube. Oh, which needs glass tubes. Oh, which needs glass dust in a mold ball. Okay. Do I have any glass dust? Probably not. Now, you can buy some from the shop. Let's do that just for now, just to save on time here. Where's the glass dust at? I swear it was somewhere around here. Oh, there it was. Glassy-eyed. 50 explore coins to get 32 glass dust, so let's do that. We've got our coins over here. What was that at? Explore coins. Yep, that'll work. And if I submit that and claim that, we get our 32 glass dust. Perfect. Alright, so we can put that away. And in fact, actually, there is something else I want to show about the coins I've recently discovered. So, what did we need for this thing right here? We needed to make the glass tubes, which was the ball mold. Now, these glass tubes actually, I think these are involved in another quest as well. This thing right here, I think it was. This is, yeah, we need them for these vacuum tubes, which is something I think we're going to need a lot of in the future. So, let's go ahead and just turn all of these into glass. There we go. That's the ball mold, and we will go ahead and have you off and running. Alright, so while that's being worked on right there, let me show you something else I've been kind of investigating with. Not really investigating, but something else I've kind of discovered, a little bit of an interesting trick. So I think I've showed this before, but it's kind of fun actually to do this. So what I do is I come up to the roof of the base, and it is nighttime, so let's go to sleep quickly. And what I've discovered is I've discovered a very nice way. Well, first of all, it's to level up your crossbow, which I've showed this before, but I've also realized it's another very sneaky thing you can do with this. And what I do is I go into the battle mode with my crossbow, and I just stand up here, and you can see we get a bunch of squids that spawn in the water back here. And what I just do is I stand here, and I pick them off. So there's one there. There's one there. Usually there's a whole lot more than this. Oh, there's one down there. Let's see if we can get him. There we go. Got him. And everything's one shot. Let's see if there's any on this side over here. Yeah, not a lot of squids actually out there today. Usually there's a whole lot more than this. I can't see if there's any down there. Doesn't look like it. They usually end up spawning in these big packs at some point. But so far, it seems pretty quiet. I've also expanded our area over here. This is actually new right here. So you're going to notice this kind of row of torches here. So this is the initial preparation I made for our little orchard area. So all the Pam saplings are going to be going here. So all those torches there, what I've got is I've got 6 rows of 6 kind of torches right there. So that's where we're going to put them. We've got 36 trees in total, so that should fit all 36 right there. Ooh, there's some more there. Let's see if I can get some of those from here. Yeah, I got one of them. There we go. Get them all the way from back here. So the reason I'm doing this is it does level up. I don't know if I can get that one. Oh, yeah, I got him. Let's see if I can get that one. Yep. Does help you to work on your aim as well in this. But it is kind of fun trying picking these guys off from afar. There's one right there. Don't know if I can get him either. But eventually, once you kill enough... Ooh, there's a bunch down there. Once you kill enough of these guys, you're leveling up your stuff, by the way, in the process of doing this, but eventually, there's going to be a quest that pings off here in a moment. Should be getting it any moment now. Is there another guy down there? I can't tell. Yeah, there is one there. Let's see if I can nail him. Yeah, we got him. Let's see if there's any more around. Anyone else around here? Yeah, they're not biting too much today. Usually there's a whole lot more than this, to be honest. We can actually go down. Let's, sometimes I go down to this layer here. Oh, there's actually some down there, isn't there? One guy down there. And one down there. Oh, there's one right there as well. Perfect. Oh, here we go. Now they just spawned in a giant group, so this will probably ping off the quest in a moment. There we go. So this is what quest I'm pinging off. So I get this time to kill squid quest. So if we come over to the, let's see, kill all the things, you come to the quest, and when you complete this quest, you kill 20 squids, you get 1/4 heart, and you get all these coins, 25 of these different coins right here. So we can go ahead and claim that. And once I've done that, this quest kind of goes on a 6-hour timer. Now, the thing to keep in mind with this is this timer is a real-life timer and not an in-game timer. So if you kind of stop playing for 6 hours and then come back, that quest is going to be reset by then. You can just do that again. So you can get 25 of each of these coins. That way you also get this 1/4 heart. Now, this 1/4 heart you can actually turn into this thing called an extra life, which I think is related to the hardcore mode. But we're not in that mode. But I think there is a use for it later on. I think you can trade it in for more hearts or something after you do something later on. I think it's something to do with like the wither or something. But anyways, though, that's something we can do anyways. But we get a lot of those anyways. And let's go ahead and put these coins back. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on with the crossbow and those squids there. It's just a little bit of something I've discovered on how we can get some coins here. So I try to do that every time I log on now so that I can get those kind of free coins. It's not that hard to do. Again, the bolts, we have mending on those, so we get those to automatically repair because of the mending moss. And the crossbow's good. It's all good here. And it also helps you to level up these tools, so we're getting them higher levels. In fact, I think I put sharpness. Yeah, I put some sharpness on these bolts so they do more damage now. So that's something I've been working on there. So we should have, yep, there's our glass tubes. We only needed 3, but I think we'll need more later. And that should allow us to make that elongated glass tube, which is probably the other way around. Nope, it's not that way either. How do you make this stupid thing? Ah, we need a file for that. Let's see. Where's the file at? Elongated glass tube. Perfect. So we'll put that in there, and that should mean I think we can make the simple sterling motor. Oh no, we need long steel rods and small steel gear. That we should be able to make. Oh, that didn't work. Alright, that works. And I think we need to make some of the other stuff as well. So let's go ahead and drop these in the forge hammer so we can get some of the long steel rods. There's the first one. There's the second one. Now we should be able to make the simple sterling motor. And that means we should be able to make this. Nope, we are missing an iron furnace. We're missing a furnace. Now we have the iron furnace. There goes a wrench. And now we need large pipes. I think we've got some in here. Yep. Now we're good to go. There we go. Simple sterling water pump. Perfect. So that should tick off a quest there. And for that we get a loot bag. Let's just open that one up now. We got a bronze hull and a creeper head. Alright, we can put that away in here for now. Maybe actually, let's put it in this chest. And creeper head and stuff, we can put that. I think I've got a chest for that somewhere. The 10 blacksmith coins, the green ones actually. Actually, do we have... No, we don't have any of those. Those are our first ones of those. It's good to see. And the head goes over here. Got 8 creeper heads. Alright, so we've done that, and let's go ahead then and head back over to the kitchen area. So we've got this toaster. I'm not actually sure what the toaster does. It just says that it toasts bread. So let's put it right there. So it does say it toasts bread. Where did I put my bread at? Alright, we got one here. Let's see what happens. Does it make like this toast or something? So, I don't know. Is it doing something? Oh, we got something. Ah, yeah, it does. You get toast from that. So you don't actually have to cook the bread inside of a furnace for that. So that's quite a good thing. So you can just kind of put bread in there, I guess, like that. That's very cool. Right-click it. I guess it just goes on a timer or something. Yeah, you get the toast out of that. Oh, so that's a cool little thing right there. So there's our toaster. Now, another thing I've also set up with this was the sink. So this sink is something you can actually use to supply water to your recipes through this thing. And what I've done, this is actually the other reason we've installed this wall here, is because this wall is actually hiding something. So this sink needs to be supplied water, and the only way I can imagine we can get water in, first of all, we have to get in from the back. We can't do it from underneath because we need the kitchen floor, I believe, underneath the sink. So we can't do it from below. So the only other option was to do it from the back. And I had to hide the pipes perfectly, but I managed to do it. So this is the reason we moved our water tank, which used to be over there. It's now over here for now. And what I've done is I've got a little wooden pipe here full of water that extends over to here, goes down here into this little alcove there where you don't actually see that pipe in the base. And I think it runs along a line somewhere from... Oh, I think it's right here. So it comes down from right there. In fact, let's break this block. Yep, there it is. There's the pipe. It runs down there, and then it goes down below the floor here, runs along here, and then eventually it comes out over here and then connects to the sink. So that's how I'm filling up this sink here. And yeah, it works out pretty well. So we just get water into here, and we can immediately supply our recipes to this thing. So let's see if we can... I'm not sure if I can look up like edible salt or something. There we go, edible salt. Which, now the thing is, I'm not sure what kind of water it uses. This, now that's a bit of a weird one. Does it use fresh water or the water bug? Because fresh waters, you get 4. See, that's a little bit of an interesting thing, I would wonder. I wonder where it would take it from, but I can just click here and make a couple of these. In fact, I don't know what happened there. I think we lost... I think it's because new recipes became unlocked. But anyways, we can just click here, get a couple of these. The real question is, where does the water come from? Well, it seems like it's coming from the sink, because that just dropped. So it does take it directly from the sink, but how much is it taking? That's the question. So, yeah, that's how the sink works there. We've also got the cooking oven. So the cooking oven is interesting since we can cook stuff, but I think we can cook up the 9 items at once. So what I've done for fuel with this is I've actually gone with the lignite coal since we don't actually use it anywhere else. So we've got that lignite coal there. So yeah, that's what we've done with some of these little new stuff here, and some of the stuff we didn't actually look at last time. And yeah, that's what we've got there. We've got the little toast we just made today. We've got our sink. We've got our cooking oven, cooking table, refrigerator, and then we've got a whole bunch of counters and cabinets and stuff like that. Plenty of storage. We're not going to be short in storage around these parts here. So yeah, that's what we've been doing over there. And I think, let's go to bed quickly. I think we're going to go ahead and start making a bunch of food now that we're kind of set up in the kitchen. So what we can just go ahead and do is we can just come here, I think sort this by number of times eaten, and now we get a list of all the foods at the top that we haven't eaten yet, and just take a look at how much we have available to us. Not yet eaten, all the way down here. I mean, look at all of this food. It's still going, not yet eaten. Not yet eaten. I mean, we're still going down here. Still going. There we go, we made it to the end there. So it's in alphabetical order, I believe, as well. But all of this food, basically from zombie jerky up, is all food we have not eaten yet. And that's a lot of food right there, a lot of food. And this is only counting the stuff that we actually have on us in here. There's a bunch of stuff we probably have that we don't immediately have in here yet, that we're growing still. and maybe other stuff that we haven't made yet, because if we go to the very bottom of this, we get these other items which don't actually have, you know, food values. You can't eat them directly, but you can make stuff with them. We can actually make these cakes. I think these are things we can eat. Pineapple upside down cake. Yeah, stuff like that. But anyways, though, so let's just start working our way and making some food. Basically, the way I'd like to do is just start going alphabetical. And we need to go ahead and clear our inventory. Oh, and also the simple Stirling water pump. So I explained all that stuff about the water tank I put up there, but this water pump here, it says produces 150 liters a second of water when fueled. So I think if we place it down, we could put in a fuel there and it just starts producing a bunch of water. So what I'm almost wondering is, should I actually be using the water tank to power the sink? Or could I use that water pump? Because this thing here only produces 22.5 liters per second. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, this just fills it up immediately because this needs actual fuel. So it's probably not that worth it for this purpose. But the way I would imagine it is if I ever need some water, if I'm ever doing immediate cooking, you know, I just power this thing up and it starts producing a bunch of water while I'm cooking. You know, I can turn it off as soon as I'm done. But at the end of the day, I guess that thing, you don't use any of that water anyways. And also, now that I think about it, all of the recipes I'm doing in this work table here, I make the fresh water and wet tofu. I can do that in there using the sink. So this is kind of redundant now. I'll leave it there, but I think I'll have to break that. I don't think we need it. We can probably repurpose that work table for something else later. But anyways, with all of that being said, I think we should go ahead and start making a whole bunch of food now. So I'm just going to clear my whole inventory. At least this bottom part. We'll just start making what we can here. Starting again from what we don't have yet eaten, so we can make some apple cider. Now, the thing we have to be careful about is when we make some food, we're going to unlock new foods, but here's apple jelly. Yep, and see, that unlocks the apple jelly sandwich, which needs the apple jelly, and it's going to take that out of my inventory, so I have to make the apple jelly again. Apple juice. Oh, wait, we have eaten that one. Oh, I didn't set that, did I? Yeah, I have eaten that, my bad. I'll just throw that apple jelly sandwich in there for now. Alright, we have to set it to this. So now we can make apple sauce. We can make bacon wrapped dates. Baked beans. Looks like we can't make another one of those. We can make a baked ham. Baked sweet potato. Okay, so this is the first one we actually use the little furnace thing. So if I click this on here, you can see this thing immediately turns on to life and it starts cooking it. So we'll get that a little bit later. We've also got the bamboo steamed rice, banana juice, banana milkshake, banana smoothie, barbecue pulled pork, beans on toast. So a bunch of cool looking foods here. That unlocks also beef jerky apparently. And we can just keep going. Beef Wellington. I don't think we've eaten that one yet. We made it before, we just haven't eaten it yet. Oh, we got a biscuit. I bet you that unlocks a bunch of foods right there, doesn't it? Let's see if we can look at the uses. Oh, no, it doesn't. You'd think that would give you some more foods. So just a biscuit. We can make a blueberry cobbler. Oh, that took something from here, didn't it? What do we have there? Ooh, I'm not sure. Something disappeared. Well, anyways, I'll get back to... I'll find that again at some point. Blackberry jelly. We can make that one. We can make the BLT. We also still have this in here. It's a big sweet potato. So yeah, just like that. In just a matter of about, you know, like 2-3 minutes or something like that maybe, we've made 18 new foods already, which I can go ahead and start storing in here. And now what I can do is I can bring out the healing axe. I can whack our cat a couple of times so we lose our hunger. And then I can come here and I can start eating away at this stuff. As you can see, over time, we're going to start getting more hearts out of this, and I can just do this again and again and again. And we just grab all of this food here. So this is basically what I'm going to have to do for the foreseeable future until I've eaten, well, a lot of food. But this is going to end up giving us a lot of more hearts. Might get another heart before long. We should at least. We're eating a whole bunch of new foods. Some of these are quite good. Let's see if we can fill up the rest of this. This is a good one right here, isn't it? The beef Wellington. Yep, there's another heart. I think that's the second one we've gotten today. Alright, let's go ahead and do that a bit. So the cat does come quite in handy now that we have it around so that we can, you know, use it to lose our hunger quite quickly. And whack you a couple more times so I can get a little bit more food eaten. We need a few more whacks there. But now, I think, if I come back to revisit this, now it's all gone. So now it's all reset. We've got new stuff at the top because we've eaten the other stuff. So now what we can do is we can just kind of do it again. We can come here. We can make some blueberry jelly. Some blueberry juice. We'll make a boiled egg. Braised onions. Which unlocks broccoli and dip now appears. Cactus fruit juice. California roll. What's that one there? Candied ginger, we can make that one. Candied lemon. Cherry jelly. Chestnut butter. Chocolate dough, which actually has 2 of them. So, for the recipes that give you 2, I just take the first one and I'll put the second one back in case we need to use it. I'm assuming that one will have a use. Yep, cookie-shaped dough. And let's see what else we have. I've lost my place there. There we go. Chocolate milk. We have a chorizo. Cooked crab. I guess I haven't made that one yet. And cooked shrimp, I guess, as well. So, also I can show you how you can actually cook multiple things at once in this. So this is quite cool. I don't think you can do ores. I think it's just food. I would assume so. But there we go. There's our cooked crab and there's our cooked shrimp. And what else is there? Oh, there's the cookie-shaped dough right there. It didn't take the one from my inventory, so it seems like it prioritizes the one in the system. I only need one of these. What do you do with this? Oh, you just cook it in to make cookies. Okay. Let's just do that. Why not? And I guess we can make a cottage pie. So, now that we've gotten some more foods, I can come back over here again, and I can start throwing things. Where did that one go? See, sometimes they just disappear because you just don't notice that some of the foods unlock new recipes, but I'll find them again at some point. We didn't throw that one in there. Let's grab our healing axe again. And let's start losing some more hunger so that we can start eating more food. So yeah, it's a pretty nice system I think I've got up now. We should be about to get our next green heart again. Yep, there it is. So we're back in the green hearts finally. So we were there before we got the healing axe. We lost them because we lost the nutrition bonuses. But finally, we've got our green heart back. Well, one green heart. We'll have many more to come, and hopefully we'll unlock the next color before long. We should start getting a bunch of hearts. I don't know how many we're going to end up with, but, you know, with all of the food that I still have to eat that I haven't yet, we should get quite a bit. And this is going to help us a lot. We've got just a perfect system right now for actually getting food. There we go. Boiled egg. And just a couple more things here. Yeah, I think you get the gist of it by this point. So yeah, I just have to keep going through this list, and there's the more stuff there. Oh, it was the chocolate dough. It took it from me for something else, didn't it? I guess it did take it from me. I thought it didn't, but I guess it did, and I didn't notice. We still need to eat that one, then. I'll eat the one we have in the system, then. There we go. And let's make one more thing as well. Why not? Let's see what else we can make here. Anything interesting, actually, that stands out? But like a higher tier food. Nope, that one we've already eaten, so we've made it down to the stuff we've eaten. Let's see what else we can make. Anything like really, really high tier. There we go. Key lime pie we can make. This is a hot dog in that one. I actually think also these down here, these are like the cakes. Now, the cake doesn't normally show because you place it down. I think these are also foods we can eat, like pineapple upside down cake. Or this pavlova. I'm gonna guess that's kind of the same thing. Let's actually test that quickly. So I can eat the key lime pie. I should be able to place these down, I think, and eat them. Let's test that. Yep, and I think they do add to your hearts. I could be wrong about that, but I think they do. Maybe. We'll see. But anyways, though, yeah, I think that's kind of the general gist of it. I think that's kind of what I wanted to show off, though. How our kind of kitchen's coming along, and it's coming along nice, I think. I'm really happy with how this is starting to look. And I think our little food system is kind of coming together a bit more now. Well, by the way, have we been using these? They are losing their durability. You do need to, I guess you do need to replace those over time. I still have a couple of extras in these chests over here. But all the food stuff's over here now. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave this one for now. We've kind of shown off what we've got with the little system over here in the kitchen. It's really, really nice. I'm really happy with this. Works really good. And yeah, it's coming together. We've got all of the little stuff we're going over there with the seeds. I need to sort out the trees, though, but I've got the placement for those left. And I still have to find a few more. I'm not really sure if I'm going to go out looking for the ones we're missing still. I might just wait and do that later. It's only a couple of them that we're missing. But yeah, that's, I think, where we're going to leave it. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.